Hey, good evening. Hey, it's Kirk Duncan here, and welcome to our webinar tonight, talking about how to get paid clients. Very excited for you to be here tonight because I know this made such a huge difference for me in my journey of becoming a successful coach. So, if you will, I just want to hear about this. Jump in the chat box really quick and tell me if you want some great training here tonight. Tell me if you want some. Yes? Get in that chat box. Tell me what's going on. I see Earl's in there. Joshua's in there. Super great to have you guys here. I've been working on this presentation all day long and just trying to like fine tune it so I can give you exactly what you need to be able to support you in your experience of having paid clients. And so I don't know about you, but I know the experience of having free clients, right? Your friends, your family, those people around you. And it's great to help people, but it does take time. It does take time, and it takes time away from other things. And if you're working and also coaching people for free, that's a lot of your day. In fact, it's a lot of your week. And so what happens is over time, you can start to resent or regret the time that you're spending to help people. And you wish that there could be something come back to you. I mean, it's awesome when those people have great experiences because you can see all the greatness you're helping. But when you're really heading in this direction and wanting to make this your full-time experience and your full-time passion and mission, actually your career, it's like, how do you transition in from free clients to paid clients? And we're going to talk about that tonight. What is blocking you and where to look to make adjustments so that you can have this happen for you. So I totally feel for you because I have gone through this exact same experience that you're in right now. And so as we talk about you and your clients, I'm going to talk to you tonight during this training and this webinar. I'm going to be talking to you as though you have been working with free or practice clients. So that's the context of my language tonight, is that you've been active in giving advice and helping people, even if it's your friends and some coworkers and maybe some family members, but you have that desire that you wish you could have paid clients, somebody who would compensate you for your experience, your education, everything you've learned, everything you've put together. You wish somebody would see that value, right? So that's how I'm going to talk to you tonight, is that you're like that. Now, if you happen to be brand new and you've never thought about coaching, it's okay. You can still listen. If you've been coaching for a long time and you've had paid clients, but for some reason it's pulled back and those paid clients aren't there as much as they used to be, tonight's going to be a great training for you too. So now, if I were you, I would grab a pad of paper and you're going to be jotting some things down because I know this is going to inspire you and open up your mind. It's just what happens when we talk about real challenges and we offer real solutions. It's going to connect, and you don't want to miss the aha moment. So if you're multitasking, I'm going to tell you right now, you better get a pad of paper and a pen and put it somewhere so that you can write your thoughts down that are going to come to you. I mean, everything I'm going to say, I mean, that's a lot, but what you want to write down is the aha moments, the gold nugget moments, the moments where boom, it just connects in your head. You know what I'm talking about? And that for sure is going to happen because you're ready. I'm ready. We're spending time together. You've blocked off the time. That is the whole incubator of gold nugget ideas coming together so you can get some clear ideas of like, oh, I know what I can do now to be able to help you. Because here's the thing. If you have been inspired, if you've been inspired to serve and help people, and those people aren't there, you know you're the glitch, right? You know you're the glitch in the system. And it's like, oh man, it's you. Now, you're not going to get away with blaming the market or blaming the events in the world, because coaching is to help people move forward. And more than ever, we have people who have a lot going on in their head and a lot going on in their heart that's causing them to hold back. And so more than ever, there's more people right now who are looking for help and advice and guidance than ever because of the experiences on the planet that are so rough and tough right now. And so it's not like there's not people to talk to. It's just what's going on with you, right? It's like what's happening inside of you that's throwing a glitch in the system so you're not connecting with these people or seeing where these people are at. Like, what's up with that? So let's talk about that. Let's figure out what that is. Now, I usually plan way too much, but this time I feel like I've narrowed it down to some very specific things to be able to support you. And I'm thrilled to be able to share this week. And thank goodness for technology, right? I mean, I'm hanging out with you. It's awesome. I know we've been around this technology for a long time, but come on, let's just express some gratitude here. Like, wow, you didn't have to drive in traffic. I didn't have to drive in traffic. And all of you who live all over the place in different states and every place you live, here we are. So a moment of gratitude. Awesome. Okay. So if you've been around me and you know how I teach, I like to do a lot of show and tell. So I have some screenshots that I'm going to show you. My screenshots progress. You know what I mean? They're not just, what do you call it? Static, where they just sit there. I move pieces around. And so if you're one of those people who are like taking pictures or screenshots, keep up with me, because some of these screenshots are really going to evolve tonight into a full big picture. Now, I've been blamed before. I've been blamed before by my own wife that I tend to talk about too many details. In fact, today, bless her heart, she poked her head in my office and said, okay, remember, don't give him too many details because it could confuse him. So she was already reminding me, like, don't tell him too much. And the other thing I've been blamed for is she says, you know, Kirk, I'll ask you what time it is, and then you'll tell me how the watch was built. Not only what time it is, but like how the watch was built and how it works. And she goes, sometimes people don't want to know all those details, like how things work. They just want the answer. So if you're here thinking, I'm just going to throw up a screenshot with the answers, you are sitting in front of a trainer that's going to show you how it works. Because I just think it's super important to like see where the problems originate. Because if you have a better understanding of what has happened to you, this could empower you to get through other problems in your life or get through other challenges in your life. So I'm a coach, right? I'm a trainer. I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm a trainer, which means I train you on how things work. It's not, I just, spew answers. It's like, here's how the answer came to be. So as I go through the how things work, hang in there, because it does come to a conclusion. It does come to an answer. And if you're here only for the answers, then you can jot that down or take a picture of it on your screen. Cool. All right. So all the content I have here tonight is for your personal use only. Of course, all my content is copyrighted, but you're welcome to use it for yourself. If you're sharing advice to friends or family member or coworkers, super cool. But if you take this and swipe this and just use it exactly in your coaching program that you're selling, that's not cool. So, but you can use it for your own personal use, right? And of course, all the concepts and everything else, I mean, you're going to absorb that. And I know out in your teaching, it's going to come out sooner or later. But if you're here to swipe, really, can't you come up with your own content? So, because there are swipers out there. And it's like, wow, you can't think of your own ideas, right? So blessings upon you that you can be inspired with how to come up with your own ideas of what to teach. But tonight, it's about you. And it's about me helping you, coaching you, helping you in this experience. So looking forward to sharing with you in what we're doing here. And again, have that pad of paper close by so we can move through this and you can get the gold nuggets that you are here to get to help you have paid clients. Because really, why don't you have paid clients? That's a good question. Now, are you broken? Are you broken? Let me just address that here really quick. Is there something wrong with you? Well, let's take wrong for a second and just kind of break it down into pieces. Let's just say that there may be a glitch in your subconscious programming. There's a good chance for that, because glitches in the subconscious programming can limit our actions and then we don't do what we know we need to do and we sabotage ourselves. So a good thing, I mean, you're human, so it's easy to say you sabotage yourself because we all have glitches somewhere that stop us. So does that mean there's something wrong with you? No, because we all have glitches. But maybe if you could find that glitch and you could change that glitch, you could perform better. Well, there's a thought. Okay, now, so the whole thing about something wrong with you. Sometimes as an adult, we assume we are like superheroes and like we know everything and whatever we touch should turn to gold. But somewhere along the way, adults forgot that you have to learn a skill and you have to practice that skill before you get good at that skill. So that could be a consideration too. So there could be a glitch in your head of your subconscious programming that stops you and holds you back. That's very normal. And you also could be lacking skill. Consider that. Believe me, I have coached coaches and presenters, presidents of companies. I mean, you name it. I have coached those kind of people out there in the world who have come to me and say, hey, something's wrong. And it's like 50-50. It's like, it's either a glitch in the subconscious programming or it's a lack of skill or it's both. I guess that might be 33% for each one of those. But either way, I don't consider that there's something wrong with somebody. I think there's either something in the way or there's something missing. That's how I approach it. So my coaching philosophy is I'm going to find what's in the way or I'm going to find out what's missing. And if we could address one or two or both of those, and then what happens is if we could remove what's in the way, whoa, you're going to do better. If we could put in there in your subconscious what's missing, guess what? You're going to do better. But wait, what if you did both? What if you removed what was in the way? And what if you put in the skill that was missing? What would happen then? Boom, momentum. You'd take off. You'd be like doing great. And then guess what people are going to say to you? Oh, wow, you're a natural. They're going to call you a natural. And you're going to be like, no, I've been beating my head against the wall for years. And I finally pulled what's in the way out of the way. And I finally put the skill in with practice that I always needed. And now here I am. That pretty much is the sum of the last 18 years for me. I found I had glitches in my subconscious that were blocking me. Oh, I had a lot. I had so many money issues, people issues, God issues. Ugh, I had so many things in my way. No wonder I was broke. No wonder I was in debt. No wonder I was struggling. No wonder I was suicidal. I mean, no wonder I was like that. I had so much stuff in my way. So when I learned how to pull that out of the way, it began to change my life. But I still thought whatever I touched turned to gold because I was an adult. And then I had to realize, you mean I have to learn something? You mean I have to learn a skill and practice a skill? And I have to kind of fumble around and then get good and then I can do good? Oh, you're kidding. I thought that only happens when we're a kid. So I began learning skills. So I pulled out what's in the way and then I put in skills I didn't ever have before. And so at 35, I began this process. Now I'm 53. So at 35, I began pulling my junk out of the way, my glitches. That took me a couple of years. And then I started learning skills. And then as time went along, people were like, you're a natural. You've always been this way. I was like, no, this has been a massive cleanup project and remodeling job of Kirk Duncan's head. I had no idea I had so much stuff going on. But here's the good news for you tonight. If I can work on me and get me to be productive and stay productive and keep my performance going for 18 years, you can do this too. Now, if you've been coaching and you're in your first 2 years of coaching, you are the perfect person for me to talk to. If you're an advanced coach, well, we ought to do one-on-one coaching. You and I ought to get on our own call and we ought to talk, because then we could really get into some deep, cool coaching, understanding and business understanding. So if you've ever wanted to have a coach that could really support you in getting your coaching business going, you want one-on-one, we should talk. And we could talk. I could tell you all about it. And then you could decide from there if I'm a good fit for you. So watch me tonight, see what I do, see what I say, pay attention to where my understanding goes. And again, this is a little snapshot of things I understand. So I do a webinar about every 2 to 3 weeks. And in these webinars, my game is to help you, teach you, open up your mind, open up your eyes, point you in the right direction. And so I've been doing a free class to the public every 2 to 3 weeks for 18 years. Did you hear that? So if you're wondering how to do marketing, I just gave you the answer. It's really easy. Every 2 to 3 weeks, do a free class to the public and help them, teach them, inspire them. Every person I meet who is struggling with finding people to talk to, I tell them, I go, when I started doing a class every 2 to 3 weeks. And I've been doing that now for 18 years. Free, no cost, nothing, no cost. And for 18 years, I have met a lot of cool people around the planet. So cool. And guess what that's done? I hope you're taking notes. So every 2 to 3 weeks, a free class. And guess what I do in that free class? I go for it. I plan, I prepare, I really think through it. I pray about it. I get my content whittled down and then I add more, and I whittle it down, I add more. I really plan a lot about these free classes so that I can really make an impact. Because if I could help you, you may never sign up for a program that I have or purchase a product or service I have. And that's okay. That's okay, because my mission tonight is to help you. But I want to make sure that what I help you with makes a difference. And if you were to think this way, instead of going out into the world or getting on your computer and chasing money, what if you dove deep into the service of others? What if what was pumping through your veins? What if what is in your heart and just in your flesh is this deep desire to make a difference in other people's lives? And that's what drove you to talk to people. And that's what drove you to do a free class every 2 to 3 weeks. What if that was the drive? Somewhere along the way, people are going to say, hey, I want to work with you. I want to talk to you. Hey, what do you got? You got a class, you got a book, you got this, what do you got? And they're going to be asking you for more because you're doing it and you're good at it. How do you get good? Practice. Put that in massive big letters at the top of your bathroom mirror. No, eye level on your mirror, big smack in your face. Practice. It blows my mind that people want to become great coaches and they don't practice coaching people. That doesn't even make sense. They're in the mindset of, I just want to touch it and it turns to gold. I'm an adult. It should just work for me. I don't know. It doesn't work that way. That's why you see like 80, 90% of coaches who are trying to be coaches, they don't make it because they don't practice. And then if I bring up practice, guess what they do? Who should I practice with? And it's like a human. Did you get that? Write that down. A human. A person. Well, how do you find that person? You talk to people and you ask how they're doing. And you ask what they're working on. And then you ask what they're wrestling with. And then you listen really good to find out where they're stuck. And then you say, hey, can I help you? Did you get all that? So on your mirror, big, tall letters, big practice. So when people say, how did you get where you're at? I'm like, practice. You learn and you practice. And they're like, is there anything else you do? Yeah, pull out your glitches. Like get them out of your head. You got to find them, pull them out. Because we all have issues. We all grew up as a child. Oh my gosh, it just beat our brains up of our personal value, if we're good or not, if we belong or not, or what we worry about what people think about us. And a lot of us still have high school mentality deep in our subconscious. Some of us have elementary school thinking in our subconscious. Just because I'm 53 years old doesn't mean that everything about me is 53 years old. Because if we talk about money, you might still be 14 years old in your head about money. All these different topics in life don't grow up with you just because you age. Some of us are stuck at 14 years old about money, or maybe we're 17 years old about responsibility. And imagine that. How many 17-year-olds are super responsible? A percentage. So just because our body ages doesn't mean our development ages. That's something to consider. So as I coach people, I listen to find out what level of understanding, what level of skill, what level of maturity, what level of responsibility they actually are functioning at. And I have mercy on everybody. But when they start complaining that things aren't working for them, I point out, you have some room to grow. You have to grow up in this area. You got to grow up and stop worrying about what people think about you, because that is high school. That's high school. And if you still are in that mindset, you're still worried if the kid down the hall that's really cute is looking at you and it's like, oh, they're looking at me. Do they like me? Do they not like me? It's so high school. It's so teenage. Now, I'm not putting anybody down by this. What I do is I'm pulling back the covers to call out something that most people don't talk about. Just because I'm 53 doesn't mean all of my topics of life grew up with me. And I meet adults who think that the age in which they're at is the age in which they work with money, or work with clients, or work with business, or work with love or forgiveness. And they don't. There's a lot of people who they've aged, but their mind is still back in their childhood, their teenage life, their young adulthood. And that didn't grow up because nobody told them you need to grow up in this area. Nobody told them. Nobody told them. And they didn't know about it. So that's why I have a lot of understanding for people. But that's what my ears tune into, is where the person is and where I can help them. Because maybe they just need to grow that part of them up. Maybe they have a glitch they need to pull out. I'll teach them how to do that. Maybe there's a skill they need, and I'll teach them how to do that too, if I know how to teach that skill. But consider this. There's not something wrong with you. This whole thing is about, there's not something wrong. There's just either a glitch or you're missing a skill. Because maybe you are still stuck in your teenage years when it comes to money or acceptance or being around people. And so you get what I'm talking about. Tell me in the chat box if you know what I'm talking about, or am I way out in the left field and we're not even in the same ballpark? Are you with me on this? Does this make some sense to you? Get in the chat box. Let me know. I'm going to look. Oh, home run. Okay. Okay. I just want to make sure you guys didn't all click off. Like you're like, okay, I'm done with Kirk. So if that kind of poked you a little bit, I don't care how old you are. What matters to me is, how are you in the topic you are struggling? Like, how old are you? And adults tend to be still about 16, 17 years old in their head when it comes to money, which has to do with paid clients, and also about their own personal value, which has to do with getting clients. So if you still worry about what people think about you, really tough to get a paid client, because all you're thinking about is if you look good or not. That's all you worry about, is if your house looks good, if you look good, because you still want to be accepted by the cool kids. You just want to be in the cool kid group. And so you're trying to like show off and be all amazing. And the person that is looking for a coach doesn't want to work with you because it's all about you. It's not about them. And I've seen people with fancy websites and fancy graphics and fancy everything and they don't have clients. It's weird, but you'll see people advertise their coaching and it looks like they're all put together and they're broke. They don't have clients, because I've talked to people and I've said, how's business? Oh, I don't have clients. It's like, wow, you sure make it look like you're amazing. Anyway, back to, I could go in 50 different directions here, but to consider this. We need to look inside your head to see if you have a glitch or if you're missing a skill to grow you up to where you're at right now. Does that make sense? Because if I had to do it, you got to do it too. You got to work on your glitches that are holding you back and also put the skill in that you're missing. Now, if you know you have a glitch and or maybe are missing a skill, give me a little heads up on the chat box if you are conscious and aware of that particular state of being that you're in right now. Do you get that about yourself, or is this brand new language to you? Because I'm figuring, I see some of your names fly by and I'm like, oh, okay, I bet you know. And then there's some of you I'm like, I don't know if they know, right? So if you ever want to get better, you got to figure two things. One, something is in my way that's in my head. Number two, I'm missing a skill. So there's two things, right? Two things. Something's in my way in here. Number two, I'm missing a skill, right? Okay, I see you guys flying by with your all the chat going on. Thank you for responding. I appreciate you responding. Thank you. Okay, so there's those two things. And does that mean there's something wrong with you? No, it has to do with development. There's not something wrong. It's just a lack of development. And so be gentle, be merciful upon your soul and upon your efforts, and call it for what it is. Hey, I've got something in the way. And number two, I'm missing a skill. There I am. That's why I don't have paid clients. Now, don't worry. We're going to break that down into a lot more fine pieces, but I just want to bring this together and go, okay, there's not something wrong with you. I know I've said that 5 times, but for the 5th time, there's not something wrong with you. We're going to look at these two areas because I can be about 93.5% correct if I just look at those two areas. The other little 6.5%, maybe it has to do with, nutrition or not enough water or not enough sleep, but really the big ones are those two. Something's in the way or you're missing a skill. And so what that means is, this is what this means. You have a chance to adjust this. That's what I hope you're getting from this is like, whoa, if that's what it is, you mean I really could like make this happen no matter how hard I've tried. Yes, that's what we need to look at, because this is the same thing I think for myself. Whenever I run into a moment, it's like, okay, something's in the way or I'm missing a skill. And so what do? I find somewhere to learn the skill and I go diving to find what that glitch is so I can pull it out of the way. And then here's Kirk Duncan, 18 years later, still going strong, still coaching, still training, still doing my thing, full on. So I think that's got to say something about these two things. You know what I'm talking about? So good. It's so good. It's nice knowing what the actual problem is. Super tough to adjust something when you have no idea what you're looking for. It's super tough. It's like, what are we doing? Okay, so here's you. This is you right here. And this is a person who may be interested in what you got. So all people, let's talk about all people. All people have problems, right? Everybody's got a problem with something. So they got a problem. Sometimes it's problems with people. Sometimes it's problem with timing or calendaring, maybe their fitness, or maybe they're trying to go after something in their life that's cool and they just can't get her done, right? And there's a lot more topics than this, but just to kind of bring a sum of all these. So maybe the problem is with people, time, or their fitness, health, exercise, their state of mind, or their goals, their passions, their purpose, their life mission. But the guarantee is people have challenges. Now, some of these challenges are bigger and some of them are smaller than others. So maybe the person is having a small challenge with people, but they're having a big challenge with a goal. So everybody's got something that's a big challenge, a medium-sized challenge, and a small challenge. Which one do you think bothers them the most, right? It's going to be the big one. It's going to be the big one, whatever it is. But everybody has challenges and everybody has problems. Now, they try to do it themselves, right? They try to figure it out themselves. They tried reading books. They tried watching videos on YouTube. They try watching everything they can to figure this out. But guess what they still need? They still need somebody to talk to. They want somebody to talk to. Like, who do I talk to? I need somebody who knows how to fix this with my time management and my calendaring or with my relationships or whatever it is, right? So the age of the world we're in right now is, yes, there's a lot online, but it doesn't answer what they're really looking for. They want to talk to someone who will listen to them, someone who will give attention to them, someone who will care that they have a challenge and are willing to dive into that challenge. So this person is going through life trying to do it themselves, but then somewhere along the line, they kind of realize, oh, I can't figure this out. So they don't know yet that they're looking for you. And here's you. You're over here with ideas. And maybe you've taken those ideas and you put it into a program or a class or a book or an online course or steps that you do or in-person coaching or group coaching, whatever you did, but then you also have a plan, right? So you've got an idea of what to teach, you've got a plan of what to teach, and maybe you even have put a structure on it to be a business. So here you are with a business, here they are with a challenge. Now, do people have money? That's a question. Do they have money? Well, you probably have run into people who say, I don't have any money. But how do they pay for things? How do they get by? How much fast food do they buy? How much junk food do they eat? How many things do they order off Amazon every week or every month? And how much time do they spend in front of the TV just wasting time when they could have been doing something productive? I don't know. We don't know all those answers, but here's what I know. People are the stewards of money, and people have access to money. That's my belief. What's yours? I believe people have access to money. What do you think? Or have you bought into the story that people don't have money? That's really a good question to ponder on right now, is what do you believe about other people in their experience with money? Now, one of the reasons why you don't have a client is because of the way you think about what they have or not have. So you're not going to have a client if you think they don't have money or access to money. So there's something to start with, and that's something to consider, is like, what is the story you tell yourself inside your head about their position with money? Now, even though they say, I don't have money, right? They're going to say, okay, I don't have money. They're going to say, I don't have money, but they still have access to money. That's true. They know people. There's ways to get money. There's family, there's friends, there's things they can sell in their house. They have ways of producing money. So if you have fallen into the mind trap of what people say is that they don't have money, I guarantee you right now, they have stuff sitting at their house that they don't use, and they have way too much stuff that they could actually sell and make a couple $100 this weekend, and maybe even enough to hire you to be a coach. But guess what? They say they don't have money. Guess why? Because they're actually hiding that they have a problem. They're going to say they don't have money because then they don't have to talk about their problem. That's what they do. They don't want to talk about their problems with people, and they don't want to talk about their problems with goals, because guess what that means about them? They think it means that there's something wrong with them. That's the common issue in human beings' minds right now, is that everybody thinks that there's something wrong with them. It's just like spreading like crazy. It's like a plague or something. Is like, oh, there's something wrong with me. So they cover up that they have issues. So you get to get in your head that everybody has money, or they have access to money, or they could sell things. Now, why am I telling you this? Because when I first started coaching, and I heard people tell me 18 years ago that they didn't have money, I believed them. I believed them. I was like, oh, okay. All right. Well, thanks for your time. And then there they go. And I was like, wow, hold on a second. That's pretty wild. Like, all these people don't have money. And I just believed them. But then there was this one day that super bugged me. I found out that one of those people who told me they didn't have money, 2 weeks later, signed up with a different coach. What? What? Are you serious? And I was like, well, they said they didn't have money. And later I saw them and I was like, hey, I heard that you're coaching with so-and-so. And they're like, yeah. And then they looked at me and they go, yeah, I ended up finding some money. I said, where did you find money? Oh, I called my uncle and he borrowed it to me. At that point, I shifted my thinking. I was like, okay, somehow I messed up. I have a skill that's missing, and I bought into their story. And I've got a skill missing. What am I missing? It's like, I need to figure out what I'm missing here, because that was a little shocking. So it was a wake-up call. Bing, wake-up call. So just to give you a little heads up, people have money, and they have access to money. And if anybody tells you they don't have money, they're actually saying no to something else. So money is not the problem. It's not the problem. Now, wait, I got to tell you this story. There was a gentleman I knew, and I was talking to him about coaching, and he's like, yeah, I really want to do this, but I just don't have money. And I said, no, I bet you could find some if you really wanted to. And he's like, what do you mean? I go, I get it. Having a coach means you got to bring up your challenges and you got to talk about them. And we've got to sort them out, where I'm going to help you. And you might feel like you're inferior or something like that, but I'm here to help you. Like, how long have you had this problem? And he says, well, I've been wrestling with this for like 15 years. I was like, so I can help you with that. When are you going to get on this and work on this? And he's like, you know what? Today's the day. I got to do something about this. And I said, wait, I thought you said you don't have money. I'm going to find it. He went out, sold his shotgun, sold the old car sitting in the driveway, which his wife was super happy he sold the car. And then he sold some other things. He calls me and he goes, I got my money. It's like, what? That's a paid client. So are you taking notes of what I'm sharing with you here? Is that it's really good to pay attention to the fact there is money for people to have access to. They have too much stuff at their house that could be sold. But sometimes they're a little nervous to talk about what they're trying to figure out, the goal they're trying to get, and they don't want to come across as like there's something wrong with them. But if you can help them realize there's not something wrong with them, they either have a glitch or they got something that they're missing a skill. And when you can help them realize that it's not that they're broken or something wrong with them, it gives them hope. And when they have hope, they're like, you know what? I'm going to figure this out. And they get super creative to make it work. So your job as a coach is not buy their story when it comes to their situation with money, because most people with money, they're like 16, 17 years old in their head. They're not really good with money. there's a small percentage of people that are actually really good with money. And there's a large percentage of people who it's just all over the place. So you got to bring hope into the people about what can happen as you coach them. And if they say, I don't have money, then you get to go, oh, wow. Imagine what could happen if you could get past this goal. You have to hold the vision of them getting past their glitches, getting the skills they need to be able to do what they want to do. You have to have the vision and not buy into excuses. If you buy their excuses, guess what? You're broke. You're out there just buying up people's excuses, just falling for them all the time. You have to want their life to be better more than them, because their hope and their wanting to work on it, they've been beat up for years with whatever they're challenged with. They're tired. They don't know what to do. You're the one who brings the hope. You're the one who brings the vision about what they could do. You're the one who brings it. You can't wait for them to boost their own hope. And you probably are doing that. And then if they bring up money issues, you're like, oh, because maybe you have money issues. You're like, oh yeah, we're all broke. There's no money anywhere. I have nothing to sell. My house is so fine-tuned. I have nothing in my garage. I have no storage units, and my closet only has the bare minimum of clothes. I mean, there's so much stuff to sell. There's so much stuff to do to create money. But you got to have that kind of mindset that money is not a problem. And if you have had problems with money, it's because your thinking is low. Your thinking is still stuck at 17 years old. When you start to change your thinking, you start to see that money is everywhere, and there's lots of ways to get money. Lots of ways. You can sell something. You could go do a side job. You can get super creative. I'll never forget the lady who wanted to work with me as a coach and have me coach her. And she says, I don't have any money. And I said, oh, okay, that's a good story, but I think there's something else. I think you are concerned about how we're going to do this coaching. I just want you to know we're going to either pull glitches out, or we're going to fill your space with skills so you can get good at what you want to do. And I said, have you ever thought about selling things? What do you got to sell? And she's like, what? And I'm like, what do you got in your attic? What do you got in your garage that you just haven't gotten rid of yet that you could sell? And she's like, wow, I got a lot of stuff. She sold $1,200 worth of stuff in 2 weeks. She sold $1,200. She calls me up and she goes, I got $1,200. And this is way back when I started. And that's how much my coaching program was back then. And she's like, can I hire you? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, I did it. I made my money. She was so amped. But I had to help her be creative. I had to help her. If you rely on them, they're down here a little bit. They're struggling. You can't rely on them to be creative and have them have all their ideas put together. I would have to say, like if I did a percentage, I'd have to say that there's probably about 20% of the people that I've ever met already had their money. The other 80% got creative. They sold things. They went and did side jobs. They went and did this. They went and did this. And they got the money. They got the training, and bam, they took off. And I'm not here to like get their money. I'm here to give them hope so that they can learn how to pull their glitches out of the way, so they can learn the skills they need to go where they want to go. You have to believe that you are going to make a difference. And if you don't have that belief that you are going to make a massive difference, get that in your head. And how do you get it in your head? You talk to your head about how you're going to be as a coach, that you're going to make a difference. You're going to make an impact. And the reason why they want to work with you is because this is going to be like life-changing. And if you're like, oh, but Kirk, I'm just really low on confidence. Confidence is a state of mind, because negative thoughts will crush you and eat you alive. You have to stop all that negative thinking in your head, and you have to tell your head what to think. You have to get in here and tell your head what to think. This is a vehicle that follows commands. This body and brain follows commands. And if you're not in your head commanding it where to go and how to perform, what is it following? Whose instructions are they following? Maybe you got the devil on your shoulder telling you you're stupid, you can't do things, you don't know what you're doing. And you're like, yeah, I'm stupid. Yeah, I can't do stuff. And so the devil's giving you commands to live by? What in the world? Like, that is like, stop that thinking. Stop that thinking. Get control of your head, of what's being said in your head. You got to get control of your head, of what's being said in your head. And you have to be the one giving commands of what you're going to be like as a coach, as you coach people, and what it's going to be like. So when you meet somebody and they say, oh, I don't have any money, you're like, oh, well, let's get creative. Let's figure this out. Because you're like, we're working together. We're going to make this happen. Now, if you're like, whoa, Kirk, that's like wild. I thought you're going to teach me marketing skills, Kirk. Guess what? Marketing. Let's talk about marketing just for a second. Look at this. Look at this. 2,710,000,000 websites about marketing. But why do people struggle finding paid clients? There is more than 2.5 billion websites to learn from. And that's not even counting all the YouTube videos and all the books. There is so much content about marketing. This having a paid client has nothing to do with marketing. It has everything to do with your psychology. Has everything to do with what's going on inside your head. It's your head. And if you're thinking, no, I got to learn how to market. If your head's messed up and you're like paying a lot of money for marketing, okay. You keep doing that. Tell me how that's going to turn out for you. And here's how I market. Here's my marketing strategy. Face-to-face, online webinars. Do a podcast once in a while, be on TV once in a while, be on radio once in a while. Pretty simple. Get a screenshot. Wow, is this going to change your life? No, it's psychology. You got stuff going on inside your head. You got to straighten out. You got to straighten it out. It's what you do, what you don't do. And it's based upon what's going on inside your head. And I've given you some insights of how to think about the client. Does the client have access to money? Yes. And if you actually believe that, you will talk with more confidence that this coming together as a client is possible to happen. Even if they say, oh, I don't have any money. You can be like, oh, okay, let's get creative. And then as you start to get creative, the real issues will start to come out. And they might say, well, I'm nervous, I'm afraid, I'm shy. And it's like, oh, let me help you with that. Because you see, the truth of it is people buy from people that they trust. They may know you, they may like you, but they don't know if they can trust you. So they listen to you and they see how you are, how you treat people, how you talk to people, like, how do you talk to them? It's when they get to this level of trust that they're like, okay, I want to work with you. But maybe they know you and they just barely started to like you. And now they're like, man, can I trust you? And how do they fall into that level or step up into that level of being in trust? Well, when you can start to show them how to be creative and you care about where they're going and what their goals are and what they're trying to solve, and you have more passion about it than they do, you bring hope. You want to know what the foundation of trust is? Hope. If every time they see you or they talk to you, they gain hope, they trust you because they like what you give off. They like that vibe. They like it. They like the fact that you're fighting for them because they're giving up on themselves and they just wish somebody would fight for them. Somebody would struggle for them. Somebody would dive into their mess and help them. And if you're that way, trust gets built. And then when you get creative, they're like, okay, I can see it. I can see this. I can totally see this. And now they're just like, they're engaged because you brought the hope. You brought the vision. And tell me where that is in marketing. Marketing is a way of reaching out to people. But if you don't have that in you, that belief about yourself, like, man, I'm going to be this person who just brings hope to people. I'm going to believe in their vision bigger than they are. I'm going to fight for them. I'm going to help them get through their struggles because I'm willing to struggle with them. And maybe right now you're going, I don't want to do that. It's okay. Then this is not the space for you to get into with coaching because it's humanity. It's real life. These are lives, not just money-making experience, which some people do this. Some people get into coaching just to make money, and then they give crappy service and crappy programs, and they'll get their pay for that. We all die, and we all go stand in front of our judge and our maker. It'll get sorted out in the next life. But you get to be the kind of person who brings that level of trust because you bring hope to them. It's so good. It's psychology. It's the way you see them. It's the way you see yourself. It's the way you see it. Everybody has challenges. Everybody has access to money. And if you're willing to dive in and help and get organized, and maybe you don't have a business yet, maybe you don't really have a plan, maybe you just have ideas, that's okay. Whatever you got, you can still bring people hope. You can still dive in. You can still get involved. But you want to know what's going to happen? Your head's going to play games with you. Your head's going to play games with you. So when you have an idea to help people and you're like, wow, it's really going to be cool to help people. How can I do this? The negativity can start to build up inside your head. And that's dangerous. So I got to just say to you, you have to pay attention to what's going on in your head, and anything that is discouraging or deflating, you have to tell it to shut up and get out. You got to fight for what's in your head. You got to speak up. If not, all this negativity takes over and bam, it smashes your idea. It kills off your willingness and your passion. And then you shrivel up and you just don't do what you were designed to do. You just don't do it. But yet you're still inspired, and inspiration without expression leads to depression. Lots of people are depressed, and it's like because they're not doing their mission. They're not doing what they are been inspired to do. And of course, there's all different levels of depression, but there is a depression I fell into because I was not opening my mouth and helping people and getting into the fight for their life to help them work through their struggles. So the truth of it is, as you're doing this and you have a good idea, what do? I need a skill. And there's 2 skills you want to learn how to get. You want to be able to learn how to pull the glitches out of your subconscious, and then how to put a skill deep into your subconscious so that you can do what you need to do as a coach. But you get training. So stop complaining, get training. It's just that's a t-shirt, right? Or a bumper sticker. It's like, okay, quit your moaning and groaning. Just go get some training on how to pull those glitches out of the way, and also how to add the skill that you're actually looking for. So as I've been coaching and training, I invite people to my free class every 2 weeks. I give a sample of what I do, but it's a really good sample. It's just got good meat to it. It's not just some kind of airy-fairy piece. It's not just a teaser. It's real content. Been doing that for every 2 to 3 weeks. And so what you want to write on your mirror is E2W, every 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, every 2 weeks. And so you get on your calendar, you plan out every 2 weeks, you're going to do a live presentation, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, YouTube video on your channel, or a live webinar, or a real thing in person, but you stick yourself in front of people every 2 weeks. Could be a gathering at your home or down at the local community building, but you are planning every 2 weeks to show up and help. What that does is it builds your skills. It builds your value. It builds your confidence. You got to practice. You got to get better at what you're doing, or people are going to feel the vibe that you're still shaking inside. They're going to feel it, and they're going to go to somebody else because everybody's looking. So if you want to see that in writing, what I did, and of course, there's all kinds of components. I just narrowed it down to 5 steps here, or this could be like a 25-step thing. But $1 million, and in full transparency about this, I had multiple classes and personal coaching. So I had multiple 3-day seminars that I was teaching, but this is how I got started in the very beginning, was to do so I should put this at the bottom because that's how it worked, is I did that stuff and it led up to being able to do this. But it's the every 2 weeks piece. And you're always inviting people. Everywhere you go, you're like, hey, I got a class in 2 weeks. Hey, I got a class in 1 week. Hey, I got a class in 3 days. You got to jump on. And then when you do the class, number 5, you tell the people, hey, I got another class coming. You ought to invite people to it. And then you just never stop. You're relentless. You can write that word down. Relentless. You're just relentless of the E2W every 2 weeks. And I know it's going to be like, what? This is crazy, man. No, this is good. This is a good foundation to get you moving. It's got to get you moving. And then as you get moving, you got to get organized, right? Got to put yourself together in a business. Don't avoid it. Just get it put together. Get a business bank account. Don't merge coaching funds with personal funds. Keep it as a business. If you're going to try to fly under the radar, cheaters always lose in the end. Don't cheat. I'm not calling you a cheater. I'm just saying don't cheat. And then get your content more organized. Build up your self-esteem by managing what's going on in your head. Get in front of people. Make sure you have an easy merchant service to use to collect payment. And you're going to have paid clients, because you got to have some structure. And if you're skipping some of these parts, or you're like, oh, I just don't want to set up a business, just do it. It's not hard. You just got to go through the steps, but you feel more confident because it's like, I'm organized. I got a bank account. I should probably put that one over there. I hooked my merchant services up to my bank account and it works. I tested it. Hey, I finally have some ideas about content and I'm working on my own head and I'm working with people. The more people you work with, you're going to have people come to you because your skill will get better, your confidence will go up, and you will get paid clients. Now, here's something to think about. As you start as a coach, I don't want you jumping clear to here on your pricing. What are you doing? If you tried that, because I see people do this, they're like, I'm going to have a $5,000 coaching program. And I ask them, have you sold a $50 coaching program yet? And they're like, no. Okay, so you haven't done this. Nope. What about $97? No. $300? No. $900? No. So you're going to go from 0 to 5,000. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, you sure about this? Oh yeah, because it's worth it. I'm like, I have talked to so many coaches and seminar presenters who were so stinking stubborn and hard-headed about their worth. And I'm like, that's fine. You can have 5,000. Sell one ticket for $50 tomorrow. I want to see you do that. And all of a sudden they're in shock. What do you mean? I mean, like, call somebody and sell your program for $50. I want to see if you can sell it for $50. And if you can sell it for $50, you are going to get a star. I'll give you a star. And they think I'm mocking them. I'm not mocking them. I'm just like, just prove it. Prove that you can get your $50 merit badge. Just prove it. And they're like, I'm not going to devalue my program for $50. I'm going to sell 5,000. So then I say, okay, sell a $5,000 program by tomorrow night. And then you would have thought I had just taken out their liver. You would have thought that their liver just fell out. They would be like, what do you mean by tomorrow? I go, yeah, what are you going to do? I don't know. Like, what do you mean you don't know? Well, I just have never done this before. I'm like, exactly. How are you going to figure this out if you don't try to sell a $5,000 program by tomorrow? How are you going to do that? And they are shocked. And I said, oh, it looks like you're freaking out. Should we move the 5,000 down here and we bring the 50 up? And they're like, oh, it just devalues my program. I go, no, it doesn't. You're not ready for a $5,000 ticket on your program. You don't even know what to say. You can't even say it yet. Let's see if you can get $50. That if you can explain your program well enough to get a $50 client by tomorrow night. And this is where the rubber hits the road, where it's like, you mean by tomorrow night? Yeah, by tomorrow night. Now, what do you mean paid? I mean that they pay you and you have money in your pocket and they said yes, and you now have a coaching client, a paid coaching client, $50. So let me just tell you what happens. So I've had clients who go attempt to sell a $50 program. And then they call me the next day and they say, it didn't happen. I said, oh, okay. Are we going to lower the price or are you going to try again for tomorrow? And they're like, oh, we're not lowering the price. I'm like, okay, we're not going to lower the price. So you're going to stick with $50 because you get to learn how to get to 5,000. I see way too many coaches throw a big number out, and that's a big number. That's a big number. And they're like, but that's what it's valued at. And I'm like, I don't care what it's valued. What I care is if you can get a yes. And if you can't get a yes at 50, you're not going to get a yes at anything else. I go, I don't coach people to sell big numbers. I coach people to get yeses. And you tried at $50 and it didn't happen. It didn't happen. And they're like, you mean I got to lower my price? I said, you don't have to lower your price. You can put your price at whatever you want. This is what I want to see you get, is a yes. The price is a door. And if the price is big, it's a little bit more difficult for people to get through that door. If the price is low, the door is more wide open. But if you can't get a yes at $25, then something's going on in your head. Something's up. Something's up. And so now we get to work on mindset. And that's where I'm a specialist. If I can say the word. That's too funny. Specialist is finding out the glitches inside the head. I said, I'm all about yeses and nos. I don't care what you price your program at. And if you price it at $5,000 and all you get is no's, you're not going to get it. Because you see, every person gives off a vibe. And based upon that vibe is your price that people will say yes to. And where is your vibe? Oh, vibe comes from the way you think about yourself. Do you get that? Vibe comes from the way you think about yourself and the way you think about others. So if it's negative, you're going to have a low vibe, but it's vibe. Everybody has a vibe. Everybody has a vibe. No way you can get away with it. Even if you die, you still have a vibe. So vibe is everything. So your vibe is based upon what you think about yourself and what you think about other people. That determines what people will say yes to. If your vibe is low, then they will say yes to a low price. And they will say no to a higher price. So based upon your vibe, there is a spot where people will say no and they will say yes. And that tells you where your vibe is inside. It's not based upon how cool your program is. It's not based upon how cool of a salesperson you are. It's based upon vibe. That's what it's based upon. And so when people are like, oh, I got to have the best content in the world, it's not about content. It's not about content. I coached people for 4 years without content. So I don't get caught up into your content's going to make you better. It builds your confidence and it builds your vibe, but it's not the main piece. The main piece is what's going on inside your head. So if you have free clients and you are not getting yes at $25, that means your vibe is right here. And some people don't like me pointing this out to help them see where they currently are at with their vibe, because they want to think that their program is this value. And it's like, so what about your program? You are the program. Whatever you wrote on paper, okay. Whatever you did, okay. But it's your vibe. Something you can't get away from is your vibe, is your own personal improvement. So your own personal improvement really affects how things go. So somewhere there's a yes and there's a no. And somewhere along this way, you find out where the line is of your vibe. It's like, oh, there's my vibe. My vibe is right there. I hope this is making sense. I'm kind of going extra here, and I might be crossing the line here of saying this, but I just was here and I thought, you know what? I'm going to put this vibe piece in. So tell me in the chat box if I'm crossing the line, or if I should shut up right now. Because this is huge. I didn't have this particular piece planned. This is just coming out. But I just want to help you know what's going on under your skin causes people to say yes or no. And so if your vibe is good, you're going to get to a certain point, and that's where you can get yeses. So when I started, I did free clients, and then I had $50 client, $97 client, and then I got stuck right here. I got stuck right there in between after the $300 mark. And then all these other prices I got no's on. Now, of course, there's a lot of prices in between here, but I did get yeses down here, but I could get a yes. And so that's what I changed when I was first started doing this, is like, I better get a yes. If I can get yeses, I can work on my vibe. But where do I need to go to get a yes? So if you get hung up on the price, well, you might have some pride issues over this, or some entitlement issues, but pride will make you jump too far. And then when nobody says yes to your big priced program, you're going to think something's wrong, and you're going to make up all kinds of excuses. And then when you talk to me, I'll help you straighten things out. But somewhere you're going to get yeses, and you want to find where you can get yeses. Paid clients come from a yes. And a yes comes from asking if they want coaching. You have to ask to get a yes or a no. And if they say no, and my rule is, if I get 3 no's, I need to back down on my price, because something's up with my vibe. Now, I'm not saying going from 900 to 300. This is just an example of I need to adjust, because I want to keep getting yeses. That makes everything work better when there's yeses. Okay. So I know where my vibe is right now, and I know, and I'm paying attention to it all the time. That means I got to pay attention to what's going on inside my head. What do I think about me? And what do I think about others? And if I can keep that in a good place, my vibe will continue to grow and keep moving and keep moving and keep moving. And then the yeses start happening where it used to be no's, and it keeps going. But if I was coaching you right now, if I was at your house sitting at your kitchen table, I would draw this diagram out, and I would be asking you, where do you get no's and where do you get yeses? And then we would draw a line right there and say, okay, what do you need to change about your vibe? That's cool, huh? That's so good. That is so good. So along the way of doing coaching and training, I knew that I was going to continue to add to my skill, and I was going to get better because I'm practicing. And plus, all the coaching I was doing was really improving my skills, and it caused a lot of great things to happen. And oh, you know what? I got to change that now. This is 17. I got to change that to 18. So 18 years of experience, and I really should update all these numbers. But as of the last time we had this, I used a screenshot. These were our numbers and I haven't updated this in like 6 months. So lots of cool things have happened because I'm paying attention to what's going on inside my vibe, right? It affects everything. And how do you raise your vibe? Do classes every 2 weeks, right? And keep your head straight. Okay, so as I was teaching, there was a lot of times being in front of people where I realized I was changing. I'm being different. Like I'm really connecting to these people. I'm really diving into their life. Like this is happening. Like this is like crazy awesome. And as I got more involved with people, either through podcasts or TV or YouTube videos or webinars or whatever I was doing, my skill of teaching and my depth of understanding kept growing. And the same thing will happen to you the more you are in front of people. You have to get in front of people every 2 weeks, at least every 2 weeks. And then as it began to expand, my understanding and the skill, it just kept growing. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is so stinking awesome. I started having these specialty classes like Body Language Extreme. Oh my goodness, that was a super awesome class that I taught. And to be able to have rooms that were packed, right? It was just so fun to feel that experience of growing and doing this work. And everything I've shared with you to this point is like what I did. The every 2 weeks, the managing my thoughts, paying attention to my vibe, and do people have money or not have money? It's like, I got to switch that thinking. Everything I'm sharing with you is so doable and it's so real. And so now as I coach people, I have frameworks. I use my intuition. I train people on special techniques about how to work with their mind and pulling glitches out. And then we find the skills that they're missing, right? Because every single one of us have room to improve. And if you think you should like be Mr. or Mrs. Know-it-all right now, and you are an adult and you should have all figured out, no, you still get to learn about the next skill that's going to make the biggest difference. Now, if I was sitting at your table and we're doing a coaching moment, this is my checklist. These are the different areas that I check in on you to find out, okay, where's your skill? Where's your content? How are you on delivery? Is your content organized in a framework? Are you good at accountability? Like, are you checking yourself? Do you keep track of things? Where's your vision at about where you're going as a coach? Are you still learning? Where's your belief? How's your interaction with people? Do you manage the little voices in your mind? Do you have any scars and wounds emotionally or mentally we need to work on healing? Do you get triggered? Because we need to disable those triggers. What's your work ethic? What time do you get up? What time do you start work? What time do you go to bed? Do you have a routine? How are you on recovery and bouncing back? And do you have a fair way to analyze what's been going on? So this is my checklist of the things I look into to help you or whoever is sitting in front of me or whoever I'm working with in how to help you improve. Because if I have a guaranteed checklist, I know no matter which of these I pick and I help you, you're going to get better. And so that's something to look at. Do you have a checklist for yourself? Do you check in on yourself, or are you beating yourself up because you think you should know everything and everything should be amazing? We have to check in on ourselves and just see, Like, what's going on? Okay, so why is it a struggle to have paid clients? It could be because you're not sure of really what to teach, not sure of really how to coach. Maybe your belief is low. Maybe your trust in your abilities may be thin. You don't want to make a mistake, or you don't think there's enough people out there to teach. So this is generally the top 6 reasons why a person won't have a paid client. And I've gone through almost all of those so far in what we've been talking about. But now I want to show you something crazy awesome to see. Now, hang in there. This is a big one. Okay. This is big. This is big. I want to show you your journey. I want to show you where you're at, where you're going. Because if you know where you're going, it gives you an idea of the struggle, the wrestle, that it actually is predictable. It's not like there's like all of a sudden you're the only one who's struggling. The journey is predictable. And the reason why I can say this is because I've been coaching coaches for 18 years. As soon as I started coaching, I had people coming to me going, "What are you doing?" So I've been coaching people for 18 years. And so I have an idea. I'm going to give you a sneak peek. Watch. I'm going to show you the journey of what this looks like. And I'm just going to walk through it, let it kind of sink in a little bit. But my journey, your journey, anybody else going through the experience of wanting to be a facilitator, a teacher, a coach, a mentor, wanting to put themselves out there as an influencer, the journey is similar. Now, some of these phases, some people move through them quickly. Some people move them really, really slow. Really, really slow. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just pull all this back so you can start to absorb. These are the predictable phases you're going to go through. And I'm going to tell you the story of how this happens to you. So here's you. You have these ideas, super excited. You want to help people. So you are thinking about them and you got these big ideas and you just, sometimes you can't sleep at night and you share them with people and they're like, "Yeah, you should do this." And you get all into it and you start to share some advice with people. And as you're sharing advice with people, some people listen to you and they're like super inspired. And then other people are like, "What are you doing? Like, well, who do you think you are?" And this right here is called the imposter syndrome, where you start to wonder, is this me? Is this really who I could be in doing this? Like, I don't know if this is for sure what I should be doing. So a little bit of fear kicks in right here. And then you start to question, I don't know. I thought this was going to be easy and fun. And so then you kind of bounce between, I got a lot of great ideas. Maybe I should share some. Oh boy, that one didn't go so well. So maybe I got some ideas. And you're just bouncing back and forth through this of like, oh, is this really what I should do? And some days you're clear back out. Other days you're really pushing forward. Like, I can do this. I can do this. I can totally do this myself. I can do this totally myself. But then as you are doing this, you're noticing you're making mistakes. And as you make mistakes, you start to wonder if you have what it takes. Because you watch other people's webinars, you get on people's websites, you take their material, you use what they're doing, and you try to do it yourself. But you don't know how the plumbing works. You don't know the behind the scenes story. And so you get into the do it yourself moments. And then it's like, oh man, I kind of made some mistakes. And then you start to wonder what others think about you. That's WOTAM, what others think about me. That then starts to surface about right in this area. And so then you're like, wow, maybe I should take this training class because I try this, but I back out. Man, I should really try this, but man, I don't know if I'm really qualified. Am I qualified to do this? And I'm swiping other people's content and I'm trying to get what they're saying. And I try to teach it, but I'm missing something. And so maybe I'll dive into a little bit of training, right? Just a little bit of training. And you get a little bit of training, but you kind of miss the full structure, and you kind of do it yourself some more, and then imposter syndrome kicks in, and then you're back down here again. Oh, you got further though. You got further, right? I'm gonna give you an A for effort. And so then you go get some training, but you're not really consistent in your practice. You kind of practice once in a while, but you're not really learning the full-on skill of coaching. You're dabbling, and you think because you do it once a week or once every 2 weeks or once a month, that should be enough to figure this all out. But it's not working. And it's like, oh, I took training. I'm doing it myself. I'm trying to use the training, but I still feel like an imposter. But I'm not really practicing that much. And okay, I just don't want to do this today or this week or this month. And then you start feeling inspired again. All right, I got to get back doing this. Yeah, I still feel unqualified. Yep, I'm still hacking at this. I'm still trying to use the training I learned, but I'm not doing it the way they taught me. I'm just trying to do it my own way. And I'm dabbling. It's just, oh, and then people issues come up right here. This is where people stuff comes up. People issues of like people from your past and feelings, and how do you interact with people? And now you start having struggles with people because clients are people, and you run into people issues, and it holds you right here in this zone. But you know, it's like, oh, I really know I see other people, and Kirk's doing it. Maybe use me as an example. Kirk's doing it. I wish I could like get up here. I wish I could go from inspired ideas to there. That's all I want. Right? But you got people issues. And who do you talk to about your people issues? Well, that would probably mean your mom, your dad, your friend, but they don't know how to help you. Maybe you find somebody who's willing to coach you through your people issues, and you're worried about what other people think about you or your fear, because it's still all there, and you wrestle here. So this is the journey. I know this journey. I watch people go through this journey all the time. And when I'm coaching people, I'm like, okay, let me tell you what you're going to get into next, and let me tell you how to fix it. And so when somebody does it by themselves, though, they don't know how to get through all this stuff. Maybe now they start to realize maybe there's some mindset stuff I got to do. Maybe. And about right here, they start to have money issues. Because now it's like, I've been practicing, but now I want paid clients. Paid clients. And it's like, oh man. Oh, and then here comes money issues. Boom. And that generally strikes up stuck. And then if you do push through this, there tends to be, this is where self-sabotage just can whoop somebody so bad. Just whoop them. And so they get into this zone, and it's rough. It's rough. And they're like, I just want to get to be big classes and lots of paid clients and just really do good. But they have all these little underlying issues that they try to just skip over. Like, okay, I'm just going to move beyond this. And they don't know how to get past it. And they try attending certain people's classes, but they don't really address the underlying issues. They just give them a bunch more content. They're not helping them inside themselves. They're helping them on the outside, but they're tripping up on these, and then they tend to slide back. And because you'll go back and forth between this, it's tough for a person to believe you're really 100% in, because they feel you being 100% in, and then you're 60% in, and then you're 40%, and then you're 20%, and then you're 0% on the weekends. And it's a rough road. I got to just be straight out honest with you. If anybody is telling you, you can take your ideas and you can be super successful in 1 month, they're not telling you what's going to happen to you mentally. and emotionally. Your psychology is going to come to the surface. The way you think about yourself and the way you think about other people and your behaviors are going to come to the surface. So if anybody tries to tell you you're going to be super successful, it's like, no, you're going to have a wrestle. So if you ever decide to go for it, you want to work with somebody who already knows what you're going to run into, who already knows what to do for each one of these phases and each one of these levels. So when you're thinking like, okay, I got to go learn some skills, right? Like I want some training. I want to do this. How do I do this? And you're here tonight to learn from me about what to do. And I've just been dishing out the answers like crazy to you. I think we're up to like 10 or 11 answers about what to do to have paid clients. And so as you're looking at this, you want to make sure from this point on, who knows about this? Who knows what you're going to run into? Who knows the underlying issues? And obviously, I do. Obviously, I can tell you what you're going to run into. The good thing is that I can help you through this. But you need to know in your development to go from who you are to moving through these levels to having a lot of paid clients and having a lifestyle that you've always wanted to do, and you're making an impact in other people's lives, there are glitches. You see these glitches? These are all glitches. All of these little arrows right here are underlying issues. And I'm going to pull them down underneath this because these are underlying issues that are just sitting under here, just waiting till you get to that point and boom, they're going to come up. And I wanted you to know about this so that you're not tricked or pumped full of some big story to think that you're just going to just fly through this without anything happening to you. I don't think that's fair. That's not a fair representation of what it takes to change, develop, grow, improve. Remember what I said in the beginning. There's two things. One, you want to learn how to remove the glitches in your subconscious. And that's what the underlying issues are. These are all in your subconscious. They're in there. And they might not be popped up yet, or maybe you can identify some of these like, oh my goodness, I'm in that spot, Kirk, right now. And so these are the underlying subconscious glitches that come up, bam, they come up. And when you're in that spot, it just throws a wall right there. And bam, you hit it. Or maybe your wall is back here and you're still in the, I'm worrying about what others think about me. But they pop up to throw the wall up and bam, you hit it. And you're just like pushing hard, spending hours and days and staying up all night and all weekend, and you can't get a paid client. And you're like, what's wrong with me? But you've learned in this so far, it's not that there's something wrong, it's that there's a glitch. The glitch popped up. And when it popped up, it threw up a wall. It's like the wall wasn't there, right? It wasn't there. And you're like, hey, I can see how this is all going to work. I just got to do it. And then this one morning, it just boom. And you're like, what in the world? Something is stopping me. And look, here's the underlying issues. Is this all of them? No, my screen's not big enough. But it's like, Kirk, why do I want to be a coach? This is like, I don't even want to do this anymore. You've completely, how do you say the word? Unmotivated me. It doesn't matter what you try to do. If you want to be a better mom, you want to be a better dad, you want to start your own business, you want to earn some more money, whatever this is on this end, the same thing is going to happen to you. Seriously. Because they are underlying issues. So here's my theory about this. Here's my theory. You might as well be learning a coaching skill while you're on your journey so that you're learning a skill while also dealing with pop-up walls. I mean, pick a goal, pick any goal. Every underlying issue you have will come up. That's why people struggle getting goals. That's why they struggle creating income. They struggle getting paid clients. They struggle losing weight. It's all the same underlying issues. So let's say you decided to work with me to learn how to be a coach. And let's say you decided, hey, Kirk, what do you got? And I'm like, oh, I have a program called Coach Fast Track. And I will teach you how to become a coach. And I will help you if you're in your first 2 years of coaching, or if this resonates with you, no matter what time period you've been working on being a coach, if this resonates with you, okay, I will train you how to handle and diffuse your subconscious glitches. And I will train you the skill of coaching so that you can move through these levels. And as these pop up, you can diffuse them and they go away. So you can move forward and move forward, move forward, move forward in whatever level you want to get to and how many people you want to work with, or whatever you want your coaching to look like, because there's so many great options of what you can do. But the difficult thing is not knowing what to do with the pop-ups. What happens? People get stuck. And you know where you're stuck. You're very conscious of it. And I don't know where it is for you on this, where it happens. Maybe you got clear up here and something happened. Usually up here, it's a people issue. And then boom, it wounded you, and bam, you're all the way back down here. Something happened. That can happen to people. And now you're trying to get back up here to where you have 20, 30 clients, or you're doing group coaching and you want to get to having 50 and 100 clients in your group coaching, or 10, or whatever your number is. Or maybe you want to do a presentation. Maybe you want to teach teenagers or go teach at school, whatever it is. Somewhere in here, you're up against an underlying issue. And in this case, an underlying issue throws up a wall. So this is not to discourage you. It's to let you know that if you run into a wall anywhere along this way, there's not something wrong with you. It's not something wrong. It's an underlying issue. Now, I don't know your state of mind and how you're processing this, but if somebody did not warn you of danger, or somebody didn't warn you of a hole or a cliff, and then you fell off of it and they knew about it, that's not cool. You know what I mean? And so I do this because I want you to know, as you wrestle through this, and if you want to be a do-it-yourselfer, do it. You go for it. If you want to do it yourself or all the way, you go for it. I just want you to know what you could have happen. So when they pop up and they throw these walls in front of you, these underlying issues, and you're up against it, that you don't quit. The last thing we want to have happen is you to quit because it feels like you're not meant for this, because it feels like you're up against a wall. Don't quit just because an underlying subconscious glitch popped up. We don't quit. What do? We get training. There's something we don't know how to do. There's something we don't know how to get through. We need to pull the glitch and get the skill. Pull the glitch, get the skill. Pull the glitch, get the skill. And the same thing happens right here. The glitch came up. We need to pull the glitch, need to get the glitch out so the wall will drop. Then you learn the skill. Then guess what's going to happen? The next one pops up. Okay. Then we pull the glitch. The wall goes down. You get the skill. And then what happens? Boom. It comes up. And so then what do? You pull the glitch and you get the skill. That's how it works all the way through this. And so as I coach coaches, that's my come from is, yeah, I want you to know how to coach, but more importantly, I want you to be able to be mentally strong and very conscious of what's going on in the journey. I see way too many coaches getting eaten up by this and they quit. And they're like, oh, it's not for me. And I'm like, what stage did you quit at? And they're like, what do you mean? And then I draw something similar to this and I go, where did you quit? Or where did you stop? And they're like, oh my goodness, I stopped right here. I was practicing and then I had people issues and I thought, this isn't for me. And I quit. And I go, that's predictable. Not predictable that you quit, just predictable that your underlying issues came up. And all it was an underlying issues. And they said, so I could have handled that? Yeah. And I could have kept going? Yeah. You didn't have to quit. And they're like, what? I thought there was something wrong with me. No. It's an underlying subconscious glitch that you picked up as a kid and as a teenager. And it just sits there underneath, waiting till you get there, and then bam, it comes up. I want you to make it as a coach. I want you to get there. I want you to be up here. I want you to be up here where you have the number of clients you've always dreamed of having. I want you to have the price that you've always wished you could have. Like I'm scrolling back here to that screen. I want you to have that package where you can get yeses over and over and over and over again. That it's yes. That's what I want. Because if you get yeses, guess what that means? That means you are helping people. That means they're getting training. That means it's another person getting through their problems. That's what it means. And so the more yeses you get, the more people get helped. So it's in my interest for you to get yeses. But you're not going to get yeses if you smack your face against a wall because of some underlying issue that popped up. There's not something wrong with you. It's an underlying issue. It's in your subconscious and it pops up the moment you get into that phase. And so you want to have a coach, a program, a training that will teach you the skill and also teach you how to remove the underlying issues. So as I coach others, as I work with people one-on-one and also in my group coaching training on how to become an incredible coach, as I go to teach this program, and I've been teaching this program now for 3 years. And now why only 3 years? Well, because before those 3 years, I was teaching all these seminars. Most of these were 2 and 3 day seminars. And I did a 3-day seminar every month for 15 and a half years. I did about 17 3-day seminars every year. Sometimes months there was 2. But I have been in front of the people. I have coached the people. I have answered their questions. I have worked on their problems. I have fine-tuned my content. I know where the glitches are. And now I teach coaches what to look for. And now I teach coaches what to do as they're coaching people. I get to take all this experience, all these different classes of how to talk to people and pass it on to those who are ready to have this kind of training, who want this kind of support. Because if you're going to go for it, you want to be around people who can support you and that they know what's going on. So I can't sit here and say, oh yeah, you're just going to fly through it. And if you ever see an ad pop up on Facebook or on YouTube or on your phone, and they're promoting this magical process, they're not telling you the whole story. They're not. And that's not fair. It's not fair. This is work. Is it worth it? Oh, wow. Is it worth it? I would not change anything about my journey about learning how to be a coach. This has been literally life-saving skills for me and hundreds of thousands of people. I love it. And if you're this kind of person like me and you're just like, I love this stuff, Kirk, I just want to know how this works and how this goes on. And then you need to hang around me more. In fact, you need to get into my coach fast track program. That's where you need to go. That's what you need to do. You need to be like, man, I want to hear more about this. I want to do something about this. But to show you this, I just want to know, was this okay to show you? Tell me in the chat box. Because I built this today. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to put this on a screenshot and see if this is even something you would want to have seen. Was this too much or was it not? Or just tell me what you got. Tell me if this is good to show, not good to show. Should I never show this again? Okay. Because my whole intention, I see your comments, very eye-opening. Now, some of you, I know it probably just made you go, I'm done. I'm out. And you're like, I don't want to wrestle with stuff. I just want easy. All right, go try to find easy. But when you're working forward and you have an idea that when these things pop up, it doesn't mean you're messed up. It just means you have something to work on. You're not messed up. You're not broken. And there's not something wrong with you. It's predictable and it's normal for underlying issues to come to the surface. And what you want to look for to help you have more paid clients is how to pull the glitches out and remove them. And what skill to learn next to help you move forward. All the way along this path, there's skills to learn. Different levels of skills, different kinds of skills, of different things to learn. And I've realized this along the way that if we're going to build a training program to help coaches like become amazing, we're going to have to build a program that actually follows this pattern, this journey, and actually builds your mind and your skill. Now listen to this, before the underlying issue pops up. So let's say you are right here. You're right here. And I know that there's a tripwire. There's a tripwire of money issues that's going to pop up right here. But what if before that gets tripped and it comes up and throws the wall up, what if the training, because see, this is sitting here ready to pop up as soon as you get there. What if the training happened beforehand so that you would be prepared on how to handle that as soon as it pops up? Now, I'm all about preparedness. I think it's super smart to learn ahead of time what to do instead of when it's in your face. Because then it's like, I got a mess. I got to deal with this and it's slowing me down. But what if you learned this ahead of time? So if this comes to pop up and it pops up, you can see it and you go, oh, I know what this is. I see it. That's what this is. Okay, I can handle this. And now you can process it and keep going. To me, that's being prepared. especially when I can show you what these are and literally laid it out on a screenshot for you. And so you can see the trip wires that are going to happen. You could learn the skill ahead of time. And you also are learning the skill of coaching. And so you're learning the skill of coaching, which helps you in moving forward to have more paid clients and build your business. And you're also aware of the underlying issues and kind of in a way, the order in which they happen. It's not exactly for everybody at the same way, but it's got some similarities to it. And knowing what they are, as soon as it pops up, you go, I know what that is. I got this. And it doesn't stop you. To me, it's about preparedness. I know how to get paid clients turn into preparedness, because it's like, if you're going to have consistent paid clients where it's consistently happening, that means you have to keep moving forward, which means you have to work through whatever pops up. Because as you have more clients, you're going to be moving forward. So if you never learn how to do this, you're going to just keep running into walls. You're going to keep running into issues, and it's going to frustrate you, and you'll end up being another person who quits. And now that's less qualified people to be teaching people who are looking for help. I don't want you to quit. I don't want you to get frustrated. I don't want you to give up. I don't want you laying in bed wondering what's wrong with you. You don't need to be that way. You could be like, oh, I know what's going on. I get what's happening. Kirk showed me. He showed me the thing that's happening, and I see what popped up, and I know what to do. I want you to be in a place where you know what to do and that you can handle it. I want to surround myself with people that are like that. People that are like, Kirk, I got this. I see it. I know what to do. And I got through it. That's the kind of people I like to be around and coach to be like that, because then that kind of attitude helps your family. It helps anybody else you're around, because you got that attitude of like, boom, I see it. Because to me, developing that type of eyesight to see it for what it really is powerful, especially when we live in a world right now where so many people are blinded by fear. You could be a person who literally is thriving in hope because you can see the landmines, you can see the tripwires, you can see the issues, and if they pop up, you know what they are. And you have the skill set to keep moving forward. Paid clients really moves the business. It provides income for you. It provides opportunity to focus on this. It provides an opportunity to hire an assistant to help you, give somebody a job to help their family. There's just so many great things that can happen. And with the way the world is today, you can actually communicate with people all over the world. I still remember the day I was having a coaching appointment with a gentleman who lives in Thailand. And and that's just one of so many people who live around the world, to be able to be in a coaching appointment working with people. And it's so fun to hear people that I know working with people all over the world. And that's how you can be too. Learn the skill, learn how to see the glitches so that they don't stop you. And so a mindset piece to take on right now is, I will not be stopped. I will not be stopped. And so you are literally calling that out. Nothing's going to stop you. And so that you'll get the training, you'll get the awareness so that you can navigate through this, right? It's so good. It is so good. So good. Okay. So as I show you this, I've also just already showed you the Coach Fast Track program. And the Coach Fast Track program is all about what I just showed you. I mean, I just explained it in just huge detail, but I want to show you this. If you don't have coaching content, and that's one of the reasons why you don't have paid clients, is because your content is not quite organized, that would be a huge benefit to be in the Coach Fast Track program. Because the moment you get into the program, you get a license to use my own coaching program that I've used for so many years. It already has a facilitator guide. It already has client worksheets. And so if you've been trying to like get paid clients, but you just still have notes and ideas that you've scratched on paper, and you feel like you want to have something to show that's just rock solid as a program, it's built in a way to help any person at any time. As soon as you get in the Coach Fast Track program, you literally also get a license to use this content, and the license does not have an expiration date at this time. It very well could be in the future. But right now, there's no expiration date on this license to use the content, which means you could use this content, this coaching program, and you could literally sell coaching, mean people buy your coaching and you use this content. It's awesome, because I know that sometimes that's the thing that's missing to having paid clients is you want to be able to lay out a plan, or to be able to show diagrams, or to be able to literally walk them through a step-by-step process. You can learn it, and that's what's going to happen in the Coach Fast Track program is you'll learn the content, you'll practice the content, and then you'll teach the content, and then you'll get paid clients. Because when you feel good and solid about what you're teaching, then your vibe goes up, and then people sense the vibe. They see that you're organized. They see that you have a program. Boom, they're interested. They're ready to sign up and pay you. And that's what I want. I want you to be able to have paid clients so you can help those people. They're getting help. You're getting paid. So now you can do this more full time and be able to help more people. So when I was building this, I was totally thinking about you, about what I was missing as a coach. And I wanted to move my price up when I was coaching. And I was at about $5,500, $6,000 for my coaching program. And I was about ready to make a big step to 10,000. And I was like, you know what? I got to put a program together. So I started putting a program together, pulled my content together. And then the very next price increase I did, because I had so many clients, I had like 32 clients. I was coaching like full time. So I had to raise my price because it was like, I had so many people coming to work with me. And so I pulled this program together. My next time doing the offer, I offered it for 10 and the person said no. And I was like, oh, shoot. I'm like, okay, that was too big of a jump. I just went from 5,500 to 10. And I said, okay, will you do it for 8? And they said, yes. So it was like, whoa. So I didn't get to 10 that next time, but I did get to 8 and they were super thrilled. Which then shortly after that, my coaching program went up to 10 and then 12, 15, 18, 20, 25, 30, and then to 45. I know, 45,000. I know, crazy. I know. But now, about 2 years ago, I was like, you know what? I'm going to take on 7 clients and I'm going to change my price to 25,000. So right now, my personal coaching is 25,000 and it's for 5 months. And it's got some live appointments, but it's very, very action-packed. So you having a well-organized program can move you up in the price of your program. That way, you can have more money to run your business and be able to focus on this and be able to hire an assistant to help you when your business starts to grow that big. But having a really nicely organized program with client worksheets, with a facilitator guide, with training videos, you will learn some incredible coaching skill. So when you show up, oh, you just look so good doing the coaching, and the people will be very impressed, very impressed. And so the program, the Coach Fast Track program takes you step by step through this so you can learn it and also learn the mindset along the way in case some of those underlying issues pop up. And so you use my coaching program until you get yours built, because a big portion of this training in the Coach Fast Track is you get to learn how we put coaching together, how we build content. You get our templates, you get the instructions, how we think about it, how we do it, so that you not only can you build your coaching program, but later you can actually advance it so that your price can go up to the level that you really want to be at. So what you do is you use my coaching program until you get yours built. But if you want to continue just to use my coaching program, you just keep going. And you just use that as much as you want. But you might have in you the ideas, the education, the experience, and you really want to pull your own thing together. Cool. Get paid clients while you're working on your program. Instead of sitting on your own program, waiting for it to get done, use mine. Learn it, use it, so you can get out there and really start coaching people. The cool thing about this is you won't be lost or confused throughout the Coach Fast Track program. There's 5 different phases. The first part is all about practicing the coaching way. There's a huge build of confidence that happens in the beginning. Second, you start to learn how we build coaching programs. You start to work on your own content. Number 3, you start to teach your own program at this point. Phase 4, you start to learn how we as a company have been doing sales and marketing, so I can train you the skill of how to do this, because you probably are missing some skill on how to do sales and marketing, and you'll get deep insight of how that works in phase 4. And then phase 5, now how to create the systems to help you raise the number of clients that you have, which then will set you up to be able to do group coaching. So with all 5 of these phases in the Coach Fast Track program, we're literally walking you through what you could wrestle with if you try to do it by yourself. Because it's a wrestle when you don't know what is next to learn. So we built this Coach Fast Track program to help you through each one of those areas, so you're learning the right skills and in order. And also so you can see the mindset that you're trained on is going to help you with those underlying issues as they pop up. Now, for those of you who are intuitive and that you're an empath, there are some great training videos I have in this program about being an empath coach. So I'm an empath, or some people call me an intuitive, but intuition and using empath abilities to coach is super cool. So I'm an empath coach who I train people to be coaches. So I talk about intuition a lot and how to open up your intuition and connect with people, because it helps you in getting down to those underlying issues that they wrestle with. So if you're an empath or an intuitive, you are going to really enjoy being around me and being in this program. And if this is the right time for you to jump in a program like this and be able to do this, because I come from that empath intuitive side. It's awesome. So I'm like a structured empath, kind of like a mix, right? Very cool. Because if empaths are not structured, they struggle getting clients. So just to give you some insight of like what this program will do for you, it's a monthly coaching program. Every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. You get incredible support, incredible opportunities to ask questions, get coaching on your content, on your coaching appointments. And then on Wednesday, there's a 2-hour live session with me where you listen to me coach coaches and answer questions, which we really get into it. And the last 6 weeks this Wednesday meeting has been mind blowing. I get done with the call and it's like, that was so good. It was so good. So good. So all this skill coming to you to help you get started so you too can have a paid client and you can start to grow your coaching program and you can move up the scale in helping people. There's so many great opportunities to do this. And you might get to that $5,000 level. I don't know. It depends on your skill and your mindset, right? Or that $10,000 level, or that $16,000 level. So many great things to happen. $14,000 in a month, learning how to coach from what I have to teach. Now, I don't know how fast you want to move, but I do know how fast do-it-yourselfers move compared to people who are trained. Here's do-it-yourselfers. Here's people who are trained. So you compare that, And it's like, it's a huge difference. Do-it-yourselfers, bless their hearts. I'm a do-it-yourselfer in many things too. But sooner or later, I realized I just need training so I can do this faster. So Coach Fast Track will get you there in a faster and shorter amount of time with the number of people that you're practicing with. But the most important thing is I want you to feel like you are becoming the best coach this person has ever had. The best coach. Because when they get to work with somebody who has confidence, it changes everything. When you're confident in your appointment and you see them how they can become, and you see that way, and you've been working on yourself and you got the skill, you've been able to handle the subconscious glitches, you can move forward in such a big way and you can be that incredible coach. And so I invite you to look into this Coach Fast Track program, but I got to make sure that you're willing to do the steps. Don't even make a phone call or get on a phone call with us and learn more about this program if you're not willing to work, or if you're not willing to do steps, or if you're not willing to practice. You see that word right there? I'm going to highlight it. This word right here is practice, because it takes practice to get good at this. If you avoid the practice, nobody can save you. I'm sorry, nobody can fix you if you're not going to practice. But if you're willing to practice and you want to learn how to do this and be able to move forward and have the skill to continue to move forward, then what you do is jump on a call with us. Jump on a phone call. Like, schedule a call to learn more and get answers to your questions about the Coach Fast Track program. That's what you do. You can type in this link or go to the link in the chat box. I think my assistant Adam is going to post that in the chat box. Click the link. There's a couple questions you have to answer so we know what level of coaching you're at, and then schedule a call. Tomorrow, I'll be doing some of the calls tomorrow, also along with Wayne and Cody. They're two of my executives, and we'll be answering questions and giving the details about the Coach Fast Track program. But if you're like, hey, I want to know about what you guys are doing with this Coach Fast Track program, I get it. I want training. I want to be able to do this. Help me through these phases. I'm designed to do this, Kirk. I am. I'm designed to do this. Show me what to do. Jump on a call. I'll tell you right now, it's not high pressure. The main reason for the call is to give you the details about the program. Then we'll also give you what the options are for tuition. And then you can make a decision from there, what would work out best for you. So it's no pressure at all. It literally is an information gathering conversation. We want to learn about you. You want to learn about the Coach Fast Track program. And then between you and I, we figure out if this is actually the right time for you. And if it is the right time, it's like, okay, here's the details. What would you like to do? And then if you need a day to think about it, or you're like, hey, I need to go sleep on it. Cool. You're not going to get pressure from us, because we know that this has got to be what you want. We are not going to sell this to you. We're here with an incredible program to help you move through all the underlying issues, help you with the right skills in the right time in the right place. If you're ready, then it's going to be a perfect fit. So you can type this link in or go to the chat box and click on the link. It'll take you to, I think there's like 4 or 5 questions. Answer the questions, and then it'll take you to the calendar to choose an appointment. And I'll be taking a couple of the calls tomorrow and a couple of the calls next week, but Wayne and Cody are also available, and they will answer your questions for you. And if it's a good fit, then let's go, right? Like, let's do this. So you can have more paid clients, more confidence in what you're doing. Now, if you're a scan the code kind of person, you can use your phone right now and scan that code, and it takes you to the site to answer those 5 questions. I think there's 5, and then schedule the call. So you can scan this code or go to the link that's in the chat box. Cool. Now, 2 things to think about. 2 things to think about. If you are like, okay, I'm kind of interested in wanting to know more about this, just so you know, the first 7 people to schedule a call, and we're tracking this right now, the first 7 people to schedule a call automatically get a $2,000 scholarship. It's the highest scholarship we can give. But it only goes to the first 7 people who schedule the call. So it's not, it's just get in there, schedule the call. But it's the highest scholarship we have to give towards the Coach Fast Track program. So huge scholarship, but you got to be one of the first 7. So, wow, you're right. You like think this through, like just do it to schedule the call. And one other thing to think about is this big bonus. If you register for Coach Fast Track, like you're like, okay, I scheduled my call. I have a call with Wayne, Kirk, or Cody, and I'm in. If you are one of the first 5 people to register, you will get a 60-minute personal appointment with one of our content creators. These 2 gentlemen wrote out the section of the Coach Fast Track of how to build a coaching program, and the content is off the charts. I'm not kidding. I'm going to tell you this. When I saw the content that they pulled together for that section, which is phase 2 of the Coach Fast Track program, I'm not kidding. I started crying. I broke down crying. And they're like, what's wrong? Did we do something wrong? And I'm like, no, this is what they need. They need to know how to do this so that they can build other things and they can fine tune it and they can make it better. And I literally just sat here in front of my computer on a Zoom call with them and just started crying because it was so good. So I'm putting this in front of you as if you're one of the first 5 people to register. I want you to have a personal appointment with either one of them to have them help you with your personal content. They will show you how to organize it. They will walk you through it. They are so good. And this could be like a game changer for you to learn from them, because I'm sure you'll record the call and you'll be able to go back and reference it, what they taught you and how they helped you with your content. But you got to be one of the first 5 people to register. But to be that, you got to jump on here and schedule a call. So first steps first, jump on here to schedule a call. Jump on the phone with one of us, and then we'll help you with all the details, explain it all to you, answer questions you have about the Coach Fast Track program, because really this program is here to help you to be able to have great content, coaching skill, paid clients. And we make it almost impossible to fail as a life coach. That's why we built this. It's my mission. It's my purpose. About a year and a half ago, I had this program called the Mastermind. And the Mastermind was awesome. I mean, so many people in the Mastermind, we were doing great work. And there's this one morning I woke up, and as I woke up, I get these like messages or these impressions. And as I woke up, I just heard like this voice in my head that said, you're not doing enough to help these people. And I was like, what? I thought I was doing good. It's like, yeah, it's good, but it's time to step it up. And I was like, okay, what does that mean? And it's like, you have to tell them what you've learned about coaching. You're helping them, but you're not telling them what you learned about coaching. You have to pass that along. So I called my team and we jumped on a call and I said, hey, everybody, it's time for an upgrade. And so I laid out the vision for it, and my whole team jumped in to build it. And we've been building this over the last year, and it is awesome. I just like, I wish I had this when I started. I would have grown so much further, so much faster than all those years of trying to be a do-it-yourselfer. I mean, sure, I learned a lot, but man, I could have saved myself like seriously almost 4 years of struggle because of underlying issues popping up and because I didn't get the right training in the right order. I kind of did things randomly and backwards because I was just trying to like bootstrap it. But now we're like, no, this is how you start. This is where you go. This is what you do next. Because I don't want to have happened to you what happened to me when I started. I could have helped so many more people, but I want to help you not have to go through that so that you can make a bigger impact than what I've been able to do. Seriously. I hope really like you pass me up with coaching. I really do. I hope you have more people in your group coaching or your personal coaching. I really do. It would just bring just joy to my heart and just tickle me to hear of your success and hear the number of people that you're coaching. And I'm concerned that you're not moving at the pace you could for these underlying issues that have popped up and they're glitching your brain, making you feel like there's something wrong with you. And I want to get involved and go, no, let me show you how this works. Let me help you with this. Because the more you know, the more you can help other people. And you and I both know the world is getting messy and it's not going to back off. And people are going to struggle. You and I have to get better. You and I have to get more skilled. You and I have to be more ready. Or we can back off and quit. I guess that's always an option. I'm not quitting. Are you kidding? I'm not going to quit. What are you doing? You're not going to quit either. So let's step it up. Let's just get better. Let's get better so we can be more effective in our coaching appointments. So I hope you don't go to bed tonight like, oh, I don't know about this. I hope you go to bed tonight going, man, I got to do this. Come on, we only got one life to live. Let's like serve as many people as possible. And let's get really good at this so we can make an impact, right? It's so good. It's so good. Just love it. It's so good. Okay, so just to remind you, there's the first 7 people get huge scholarship. If you're number 8, I'm sorry, you won't get a $2,000 scholarship. But if you're 1 through 7, boom, you're on. So they're already tracking it. They're already watching who's signing up for different appointments, and they're keeping track of it. So we know who you are. No matter what day you pick for your appointment, we know the order in which you're picking those days and those appointments. And so we can keep track of that. So even if you choose an appointment for next Tuesday, but you're one of the first 7, boom, you got that $2,000 scholarship to use if this is a fit. But it has to be a fit. And that's why on the call, we'll find out if it's a fit. And then again, be thinking if you're one of the first 5, what? You get to have this personal appointment. And then record it. Make sure it's recorded because they're going to open your eyes and show you how to do this. It's so good. So again, schedule a call, either use the link in the chat box or the QR code to scan whichever way you are as techie. And let's connect and talk. Let's get you going, right? Cool. Well, great to be with you here this evening. Super, super good. I'm going to end with the slide I started out with at the very beginning, is that you can get all this organized, but I got to tell you, people have money and they have access to money. So if right now you're saying you don't have money, get creative. If you're like, oh, I really like to do this program and work with Kirk and his team and learn what they've learned, and you're going to tell me I don't have money, Kirk, you know I'm going to say, okay, you just don't want to have to deal with your issues, your underlying problems. And so get some money, find it, jump into this program, work with us, allow us to coach you. You'll feel so good knowing that you're actively engaged in what you know your purpose and passion is. You're getting the promptings, follow them. You're getting the promptings, follow them. And when you have all that negativity trying to shut you down, fight back and tell it to shut up and get the training. That's what you need. Get those glitches out of your head, get the training in the right spot, right? And just know that my team and I, we will always tell you the truth. We will never inflate that it's a one-step process to being amazing and that you're going to close $20,000 worth of clients by next month. No, we're going to teach you how to get there so that you're rock solid, so it really will work. You're going to get straight up honesty, clear communication from us. We will never, never deceive you or smoke screen you to make you think that it's like super easy. It's doable, but you just need to know what to do. So can you get there? Yes. But you got 2 things you need to work on. One is how to handle these underlying issues, how to take care of these subconscious glitches. And number two, the right kind of training in the right order. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to help you get where you need to go. And this is the Coach Fast Track program. And I invite you to check it out, go book a call, talk to us, get the details, so that when you're in front of a person, you can be loving, supportive, kind, nurturing, bold, and you believe in them more than they believe in themselves. That's who you're meant to be, is that kind of person, to bring hope to people. Bring the hope where there's so much hopelessness out there. Yeah, you get to be that person. And you and I, we get to stand shoulder to shoulder and do this work. Let's do it. Let's work shoulder to shoulder. Let's do this work, right? Let's don't hide and fall away from this. Just because it's hard, it doesn't mean it's not doable. You just got to handle this and get the skill. That's what I've been working on for 17, 18 years. And now it's my turn to help you. So click in the link in the chat box, go schedule your call. And I hope you get one of those scholarships to use. That'll save you a ton of money, right? It's so good. I'm so glad we could offer that to you. All right, I'm going to go. Thank you for being here. Love being with you. And I hope I get to see you again next. And I'll be doing another webinar here in about 2 weeks, I think, in about 2 weeks. And when we send an email out, pass it along to your friends. Love to chat with them too. All right, super good. Thanks, everybody. Love you guys. Thanks. Bye.